How's everyone doing today? Hopefully the audio is coming through good and clear. Just I'll give it a sec to catch up. Let me know if the audio is loud enough for you guys, or if I need to turn things up a little bit, move the microphone, anything like that. Discord is advertising that I am streaming. It is not. Darthon, how's it going? Just checking things here. Had some slight changes to my setup, so just making sure everything's still fine. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna bring up is, well, I'll give it a minute for people to get in here, but the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the MUDs changes. So I'm gonna hop over in game here. Making you multitask, Ray? I'm sorry. How's it going? Were you doing a bunch of trying to do an ISA there, and now you got to multitask? Watch me and do the ISA. I know you really like your ISAs. Yeah, that's gonna be something I bring up here, Darth, and I just wanted to give it a minute or two for people to get in. Yeah, this is for PC, but everything that applies to PC will eventually apply to console. Just grabbing something quick. Yeah, in a couple weeks. Like everything that goes on PC goes to console eventually. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the new items in the Mud store. So I'll be a little bit behind on chat as I read through these blogs. I'll get caught up between the blogs. So Cryptic has added some new things to the Mud store. It's just 3 new items: the Ryzian Weather Control Vessel, the Temporal Vortex Probe Universal Console, and the Civilian 2399 outfit. So the big one here is the Ryzian Weather Control Vessel. It's extremely popular for anyone doing EPG builds. So all of these non-bundle items are 75% off for the next week, including the new ones they just added in. But the Ryzian Weather Control Vessel, every EPG player, so EPG is the really psi-heavy builds, they're using the console off of that ship called Neutronic Eddy Generator. This does a massive amount of radiation damage to all foes around you. It does a lot of damage. In fact, if I go and pull up, say, a good parse here, if I can drag SCM over, that is. SCM was really laggy there. If I pull up one of the top HSC parses, the Neutronic Eddies is usually doing a couple 100K on any of these runs. So give it a minute for the table to load here. Goes to the wrong monitor. So look at Megla's run. I'm gonna have pulled a parse that doesn't have the console on it or something, knowing my luck. That's it. Okay, so Neutronic Eddies, that's the console off the Ryzian Weather Control Vessel. 141k DPS on this psi run, and some people will have higher, some lower. But needless to say, the Neutronic Eddies is one of the highest damage sources on one of these EPG science builds. So anyone wanting to do an EPG build should really consider grabbing the Ryzian weather control vessel, especially while it's on the sale here, if you don't already have it unlocked, because the console off of it is just one of those core components for exotic builds. Now, they've also put in under space items the temporal vortex probe console. I don't know how effective this one is. It's got passives on it to boost EPG or boost exotic damage, uh, boost your turn rate, and reduces cooldowns on temporal operative bridge officer abilities. It's got a clicky on it that does radiation damage. I don't know how much this one does, but if you're a science player, you might want to have the temporal vortex probe unlocked account wide. That is up to you. And then the last thing in the mud store is the civilian 23.99 outfit. Uh, if you like that design, then it's 1500 Zen. So let me take a look now at chat. Sorry, I'm a bit behind there. Yeah, Dwayne, I'd like to see. I never played Elite Force fully. I got one of the Elite Force games on the PlayStation back in the day, but yeah. Nick, you're on very early. Yeah, the Neutronic Eddies does really well, and the Temporal Vortex Probe, I imagine it probably is okay. It's probably not the best console. I don't recall it ever being mentioned as like a really potent science console, but if you're a min-max science player, it's $20 to unlock it. It might be worth grabbing just to have it in case you ever did need it. I don't know where it stacks up performance-wise, though. In fact, I wonder. I'm going to take a look at the builds Discord, go to the EPG section, look at the curated EPG builds. Are any of these even running it? They all have neutronic eddies, of course. I'm not seeing the temporal vortex probe in any of these, but the neutronic eddies is a staple that you see pretty much on each of these builds. Where is it here? It's the bottom right console on the tack slot here. That console is just insanely good. Linus, how you doing? Yeah. Nick, you gotta hop on and grab the Ryzian weather control vessel, man. They added it into the mud store. You get neutronic eddies finally. Now I can have your side nuker build at full effectiveness. Um, Eddies did get nerfed, but they're still really good. Like that parse that I pulled up from SCM, that was from just a couple weeks ago. So it is still extremely good. Yep, Nick. It's time. Time to put all your money into the game, buddy. The next thing I want to talk about is the Vanity shields. They've put these back into the dilithium store. They're 280,000 dilithium per. The nice thing about these, the ones you get from the dilithium store, is they're account bound on pickup, whereas the ones you would be able to obtain opening weapon packs or buying off the player exchange are character bound upon equip. So if you bought a Section 31 Vandy shield from the Dill store, you can move it around between your characters through your account bank. So these Vandy shields that you're buying through the dilithium store are definitely better than the standard Vandy shields. I mean, they give the same visual effect. It's just they are account. You can move them between characters. That's the big difference. So if you're in a fleet, you will also get a discount, 15% off. So when you're buying these, make sure you're on a character that is in a fleet so you get that nice 15% discount. That is from having a completed dilithium mine on your fleet. So definitely, if you're interested in the Vandy shields, cash in on that at 238,000 Zen or 238,000 dilithium. That is 476 cents, so $4.76 to buy one of these Vandy shields. So I think it's worth it if you're into the Vandy shields. It's better than getting them traditionally, which would be very expensive. Let me catch up on chat now. I know I've missed a few messages again. All safe, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not a fan of every aspect of the neutronic eddies. I've definitely seen the pull. I think it's from them, or I'm not sure quite sure if it's from them or not, but uh, they definitely do have a little bit of a pull effect. Yeah. Do I have the Borg Vanity that I can put on a jug for a second? Let me. I don't know if I have one, but let me go take a look. Take a look for you. No, the Armada bonuses are explicitly for dilithium projects. This is not where I meant to go. Yeah, this. So like the Armada bonuses, this dilithium discount does not impact players. This dilithium discount on the Armada is explicitly for fleet projects. The experience point boost does affect players though. Yeah, I did not mean to go straight to New Romulus ground. Wanted New Rom command. MB, how's it going? Let me pull my chat so I can view it a bit easier. I finally put my desktop down on the floor here, so I've got a monitor right up against my normal monitor, so I don't have to look over as far. Borg Vanity Shield. I know I've got one. There's not one in here. Let me take a look. Oh, every finger's a key off. So for the upgrades, the old ones are they still have the same stats they had before. They've just added classic in front of them. So your upgrades from before the patch are still the same. It's just that any new ones you buy are, the limited version. Nick, thank you for the 3 Australian. Josh, they haven't run a deal sale before like that. That is the dilithium discount here, the 20%. If you're in a Gamma fleet, that is explicitly for fleet projects. The only discount you can get from your fleet is from the dilithium mine holding. And which one is that on? Yeah, it's this dilithium store discount. This is the only deal discount from the fleet that actually impacts you. So with tier 3 of that stacks up to 15% discount. Okay, I'll see what that Borg Vandy shield looks like. I know I've got one over on this alt. E6 Bulwark hopefully soon. Yes. I had one ultra rare token that I got opening packs last night, and I moved it over to uh, my casual SAB character that I set up because it has the Voth Rampart on it. So I figured I should probably get that console on there just in case. Maybe I do not have a Borg Vanity Shield. Oh, I must have sold it. I'm sorry, Ray. I thought I had one, but like I said, I must have sold it. Okay, now that we've got a few people in here, let me see what this Discord message is. Okay. There is a free set of 10 Phoenix packs in the C store under the promotions tab. So this is alongside the free pack that you can get each day at Drozana or Deep Space Nine. So just open up your C store, go to the promotions tab, and they should be right at the top. 10 free Phoenix packs. So if you have alternate accounts, make sure to go through and claim this. I don't know how long this is going to be available. Oh, look at that. The first one on this character is an ultra rare. Oh, that is just the very rare from before. Let me catch up on chat here. I think I am a little bit behind. I just want to make sure I am caught up to there. Yeah, Starseed. That's the thing too with the like the delaying and buying things is, you know, a build from 5 years ago still works. You know, there's been no increase in content difficulty, so the extra power is nice, but it's not like the content justifies it. You know. Did that's okay? So you're talking everything in the dilithium store will be 20% off. Okay, I get what you're saying now. I see what you're saying. So let me. Nope, there's no sale as far as I can tell. Let me hop over to my main account. I mean, yeah, the 15% is the one you get from the fleet, but I'm reading that now in the blog too. It says right here, and during the time these shields are available, everything in the dilithium store will be 20% off. I missed that when I was reading this first time. So if I go to reclaim or like hanger pets, these hanger pets should be 20% off. If I go to reclaim, things like the spiral wave weapons or these advanced phasers should be 20% off, and they're not. At least I don't believe they are. There's no discount on the other stuff. Nope. That sale's not active. Yeah, so cryptic of them. Not buying anything till it gets fixed. Yeah. Nice, Linus. You know that video I put out yesterday? I actually I messed up on it. I did a few takes. I did a few takes. So I did that first take here, which was 12 minutes, 28 seconds, or 29, whatever. I did another take that was slightly less negative, and I had changed the title of the PowerPoint. I changed it from nerf to change. It was a slightly more positive take. And then I did another take after the 10 forward, thinking I might just take that old video down and replace it with this one that included some of the number crunching between how valuable the upgrades were before and after. But I decided to just leave the existing take up because people seem to be liking it. I think I was probably a little negative with that video, you know, and so with how I went about some of it. But I think that really like resonated with how most people seem to be feeling about all of this. So I just left it as is. Strange New Worlds, I liked it. You know, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I liked it quite a bit. You checked your store and you do have the dilithium discount on everything? Okay. There's an easy way to test that. Just pop onto another account and we'll see if that's changed. So this is a new instance of the game that I'm opening up. I'll close out this one. Waldo, how's it going? The Ryusean Weather Ship has a really meta console uh for EPG builds. So if you really like EPG builds, definitely look at grabbing the Ryusean Weather Control Vessel. Darthon, I'm gonna check that. Yeah, Ray, that 238k fits with the 15% discount from the Fleet Dilithium mine. So I just started this copy of the game up. We'll see if there's a discount at all for the fleet or for the lithium store. No, nothing. No discount here at all. This character's not in a fleet that has the dilithium discount either, so there's just straight up no discount here. But just a reminder, you know, when you're opening these packs, try open them all on the same character. Also, in the C store, for anyone that missed it, there are 10 free Phoenix packs in the promotions tab, so make sure to grab them. And you can, once again, go to the NPC here to claim a free Phoenix pack today. There's one at Drozana and one at DS9. And of course, you know, if you go to Drozana, you gotta stand on this lovely console here. This is everyone's favorite console. Would it be possible to get a copy of my Excel worksheet containing the values and calculations for crit? Still have that. Where? Take a look. Yeah, I mean, I can dump this on the to like Google Drive. I can dump it up on there if you want, but this doesn't really go into the calculations or like all of the possible options. This was just me entering values as I went. There's a guide up on STO Better that where they have like calculators that I think factor in all of the options. Jay, if you have Discord, send me a message and I can send you that Excel file after the stream here. Yes, Darthon, taking the high ground on the console gives better odds for sure, and it gets very positive reactions from other people for sure. God of Rage, they buffed it as soon as it launched. It launched in the buffed state, so everyone has been using that trait quite a bit. I watched part of the 10 forward stream. I had some other things going on, so I wasn't able to fully, you know, dive in and listen to all of it. But I do understand that they talked quite a bit about it, and I know there's this breakdown from the Sejuk car over on Reddit. I just haven't had a chance to read through all of it yet, so I can't really give any opinions on it yet. Zero, thanks for the sub. Josh, thanks for stopping by. Hoodwink sitting on a T6 box. We'll probably use it on the Delkina. Yeah, I expect that. So when I saw the California stats a couple weeks ago, I knew it was. I mean, there was going to be some people that liked it, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just another American worker cruiser. I'll get to the stats of it here in a few. While we're on the topic of all the muds, or not the muds, the Phoenix stuff, how about I open some Phoenix packs? Let's just see what the drop rate ends up being here for me. I'm not opening a ton, just 120 packs, like $10 worth. The current tokens I have, I'm just gonna put into my bank. So when you're opening these Phoenix packs, it's recommended with any gambling now that you do all of your gambling on a single character. It looks like the pity system that they have in the game, it's different per character, so you want to just do all of your opening on a single character. Yeah, I'll get to the stats of the lower deck stuff here after this. I just gonna open these Phoenix packs quick. So this is 120 packs. Oh, if only that would have happened when I was on the Drozana console. I was not expecting an epic, so. So end results there. So I got 1 epic, 16 ultra rare, 31 very rare, and 72 rares out of the 120 I just opened. Yeah, that epic win just screwed over my math massively, yes. To be fair, I put $10 in last night to grab some Phoenix packs before everything happened, so uh, I was definitely a few hundred epic or a few hundred Phoenix packs into this character, so um, that was just likely built up towards the pity point. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. Yeah, another cooldown trade on the California. I know, it's just wonderful. Darthon, I don't know either. I really don't. The Cephalus, the STO player base, I mean, most of the people in the game are off doing their own thing. And this is an MMO, but there's not really a ton of like multiplayer stuff that really you need to be heavily involved with a ton of other people to do. You can do things with other players, but a lot of the game is set up so you can pretty much just play it on your own. The Phoenix boxes that you get, the 10 free ones, are per account. Um, Starseed, I'm not trying to win anything really, to be honest with you. There's nothing that I currently need. The upgrades will be useful in the future for sure. Any rumor of next mud bundle? If I knew, I wouldn't be able to talk about it because that would be a leak. Uh, yeah, I do think it does seem like the drop rate on the very rares is a little bit better than the rares were before, but that we need to see more opening samples to know for sure. Zach Cryptic is looking for a QA lead. I thought they were looking for a QA department. I would. If I have applied to Cryptic before, I would if they gave me the opportunity, I would take on a QA lead or a QA position there. But I applied for their systems position they had early last year, and that didn't go anywhere. Um, Tyson Grim, they know what QA is. You wonder, don't you? At this point, I am pretty sure they're not given enough time to like actually for the QA people they have there. I don't blame them directly. I think it's more on the management that they're not given time to really test the new ships, traits, consoles that come out. They're focused, I think, on missions and I don't know. I don't know what all they're doing to be honest, but they're not testing any new ships, traits, or consoles. It feels like most of the time because they know players will report that any issues immediately and they can just fix it the next patch. Um, yeah, hoodwinked. Um, like when I applied to that systems position last year, I was talking to Jet quite a bit too. Jet Cryptic Spartan was, I think, one of the players' favorite developers that we've ever had. I think a lot of people in the player base liked her. She knew what she's talking about, and I just think that is something they lack. They don't have somebody like in the systems team or in any position there that really is heavily engaged with the end game mechanics of the game. We're not getting tier 17, but when they worked on tier 15, they put in the work to do tier 16 or Mark 16 weapons. So, that has been an option for the past few years for them to do Mark 16 weapons, and that is always something that they can go forward with if they decide to. And I think these Phoenix upgrade changes were a step towards that because that means that if they do decide to release those Mark 16 weapons and let's say like a level cap increase to 70, that is more money that they're going to be getting from people trying to upgrade all of their gear up to Mark 16. I did not actually watch Jeremy on Stoked. I think that was before I started playing. Rob, how's it going? Okay, so I'll catch up on chat here in a few minutes, but I want to start looking at the California class and all of the associated lower deck stuff coming into that lockbox. So the California class I've talked about before, it's being added straight to the Infinity lockbox, and it's going to be added next Tuesday on May 10th. It is a Miracle Worker utility cruiser. It is the California class, so it's another Miracle Worker ship. I know we're all excited about that. But for the rest of the stuff, with the lower deck stuff, when they added the Parliament in, and now with this, rather than doing a full new lockbox, they're just putting the new items like the console, the traits that you would traditionally have in a lockbox. They're putting them in the Lobby store instead, which I'm fine with because it adds something new to the Lobby store because they haven't added a new ship in there in like 2 or 3 years. Uh, so we have a new console, the Unstable Planetoid Detonation, and it deals kinetic damage and disables enemy subsystems over a wide area. The issue we have with a lot of the consoles and weapons and kit modules and traits here is we don't have the numbers on them. I have the numbers on them, but I can't talk about them without Cryptic actually releasing the numbers. So this Unstable Planetoid Detonation console, we'll have a full review of it and the other stuff when we can actually get our hands on it. But for now, it's hard to say how good this is going to be. It could be a good EPG console, but we won't know until we can actually see the stats. There's new ground weapon, the mandatory medical treatment rifle. I have little faith in a medical treatment rifle, uh, doing a good amount of DPS. Just something there tells me it's probably not going to be that great for ground. But if you like that visual, it'll be there. I see a bit of chatters went by, so let me stop over there. Michael, how's it going? Dwayne, I don't know yet. Yeah, the console, um, the unstable planetoid detonation, whatever thingy there, that sounds like an EPG console. But without knowing the full stats, it's hard to say for sure. Can I give a thumbs up or thumbs down on it? Yeah. Yeah, I can do that for this stuff. Hidden Claus, how you doing? Darthon, I think if they increase the mark, it would automatically anything that used an ultimate tech upgrade would immediately be at that higher mark, or it would be a free upgrade, I imagine. Okay, so for the console, the unstable planetoid detonation, I would have to give it a thumbs up for EPG builds. But for its usefulness on other things, we just have to wait. But it does sound like it might be pretty good for EPG or science builds. And it does have passives to improve kinetic damage, max hull, and control X on your ship. So if those values end up being good enough, it might be good on like a tort boat, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. The mandatory medical treatment rifle, like I said, I have very low expectations that a medical treatment rifle is going to be effective at killing opponents. Um, I'm gonna have to give a thumbs down on this piece. I just don't expect it to do well. The Scorpion Cube and Strange Energies and Fusion kit modules both look like, they're more for fun. I don't think they're going to be super effective damage wise, but I, could be surprised. I don't do a ton of ground, so I can't really give a thumbs up or down on these. The Scorpion Cube will turn you into a scorpion temporarily. So it is a unique effect, and it does have unique animations and things to it. So, uh, for something new to mess around with, I guess it'd be it'll be interesting to see how it performs. Now, before I get into the traits, let me see if there's been any new chat. Yeah, I did hear that part of the stream, Michael, that they admitted that they don't have enough people on the team now to make a new fleet holding, which it sucks to hear. Okay, so for the traits here, the Make It Go trait, basically this randomly applies a buff to you. There's like a list of 20 or 30 buffs it can give you, I think. It was a really long list when I looked at it, and they each have like a 6.25% chance to go, and it ranges from plus power to plus resistance to plus damage. It just chooses from the list of like 20 random things and gives you one of those buffs for 30 seconds, and then after the 30 seconds it moves on to the next. It re-rolls to give you a different buff. um it's very hard for me to publicly say, good or, like to really assess it without having the full stats of it publicly available. I think it's going to be an interesting trait, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up based on the numbers that I have seen privately. um I don't know quite how useful it's going to be for everyone, and it is going to cost you 200 lobies. So um that's the issue with a lot of this, is a lot of this stuff is going to cost a significant amount of Lobi, and we just don't have the values publicly available. Vitruvian explosives, dealing weapon-based kinetic damage, has a percent chance to deal additional radiation damage. This is like a clone of Omega kinetic shearing. Um, for this one, from what I remember, it has a 15% proc chance when you fire a torp at a target, and it will deal an additional 40% radiation damage. So, um, saying more than I should there, but this is going to likely be fairly decent for a torpedo build. But if you're not using torpedoes, then it's thumbs down. But if you're using torps, I think it's going to be a very good trait to look at grabbing. For the ground traits, consulting the team. When the captain's health becomes low, you recover half the recharge time of all kit modules and bridge officer abilities. 120-second recharge. Um, I don't know how valuable this is going to be. For those of you that don't do a ton of ground, the cooldown reduction is not an issue with the MUD's time device kit module. If you use that with something like motivation or I think adapt, you can basically have everything at like a minimal cooldown as is. So I don't expect consulting the team to really be that substantial. So that's going to be a thumbs down. I'll catch up on chat here after this last trait. Shadow of the Black Mountain. Upon entering a ground map, it grants a bonus to kit performance to members of your away team, which lasts indefinitely. But if you lose an officer or they are knocked unconscious, the bonus is removed from everyone. So basically, if you're doing a ground, like some ground content with your bridge officers, and you have this trait slotted, you all get a large kit performance boost. But the second you or one of your bridge officers dies, the trait will no longer impact you for the remainder of time you're on the map. So that is very much a thumbs down, because as soon as you have a bridge officer die, the buff's gone for the rest of the time in that map. So let me catch up on chat here. Derived from Packlid clump ships, what could go wrong? Darthon, I don't know. All I know is the stats of when you fire weapons. So that we're talking about, with your question here, we're talking about the Vitruvian explosives trait. Dealing weapon-based kinetic damage has a chance to deal additional radiation damage, so maybe the kinetic cunning beam will trigger it. I really don't know. That's one of those things we're gonna have to wait to see how it performs when we actually have it. Yeah, Waldo. Both ground traits really don't sound worth it at all. So I'm on one hand, I think it's nice to have these new items in the Lobby store, but on the other hand, they are really expensive. You know, 200 Lobby right now at 5.4 Lobby a box. That's 37 lock boxes you have to open to get one of these traits at 200 Lobby or one of these consoles at 200 Lobby. Um, that's a lot of EC or money. So EC wise, at about 13 mil a key, that's 481 million EC. Or in real money terms, that's just under $40. It's a really steep price, and I can't recommend you go out and open lock boxes to get these items if they're available to buy on the exchange. Because, something like Boimler sold for 80 mil, and if keys are at 13 mil, you only need like 6 or 7 keys to buy it off the exchange, whereas you would have needed 37 to get the Lobby to get it through the Lobby store. Yeah, the Phoenix reward system is changed. Yeah, we went over that in the video yesterday. Yeah. Okay, so next up we have the California class. This is a 4-4 ship. It's got a Lieutenant Commander Engineering seat, Commander Engineering with Miracle Worker, Ensign Universal, Lieutenant Universal, and Lieutenant Commander Universal with Miracle Worker. So this is a lockbox ship with a commander and lieutenant commander spec seat that is of the same specialization. I am not a fan of this at all. I don't like having the more premium ships having dual specs that are the same spec. I'd like there to be, the one primary spec and then a different specialization in the secondary spec seat. Um, the bridge officer layout on this, I don't like the lieutenant commander engineering. It's a very engineering heavy ship. You can run a lieutenant commander tack on this though, which makes it better than the Parliament. So with 3 universal seats, the ship is definitely more flexible than the Parliament was, but it is still extremely engineering heavy. These conversations. Uh, Dwayne, yeah, it will be available. Darthon, it probably is. What was it at here? Full modifier 1.25. I'll compare that to some other Miracle Worker ships here in just a minute. Um, so we've got 3 tack consoles, 5 engineering, 3 science, and 1 universal. Base turn rate of 11, 50 inertia. Before I get into the console and the trait, let's do a comparison here of this ship and other Miracle Worker ships. So I'm going to, is this updated to include the California? Okay, so I'm going to file, make a copy. What we are going to do on this spreadsheet over here on the right side, I am going to look for ships that have a similar, set of stats to this ship. So already got a few there. Set it so it's 8 weapons. Does this ship have a hangar bay? It does not. Make sure the ships are at least fleet tier. Let's go for 4/4s. This ship does not list that it can use dual heavy cannons, so what ships does this ship compare to? There's a bunch of sea store ships that have comparable stats. The Parliament obviously is comparable, but it's got a worse bridge officer seating due to the tack limitations there. The issue I have with this ship when we start to look at these stats is look at how many, C-store ships and legendary ships that are basically competing with this ship, you know? The bridge officer setup is not that different between some of these. I mean, there's the universal seats, but I don't know. Let me read what's going on in chat. Rob, that is what I want to hear, buddy. You're gonna your side nuker's gonna be more premium and to the level that I expect. And you can do HSE now, Rob. That's good. Okay, so the we've got a lieutenant commander engineering, so that matches up to some of these ships here. The operations miracle worker cruisers. Commander engineering with miracle worker, which is what these are all set to, 4-4. Ensign universal. Not many of these have a bunch of universal seats. The closest is the legendary Excelsior, which actually, looking at this, the legendary Excelsior is basically a better version of this California class. So, let me compare hull stats. What's the hull stats on most of these ships? Oh yeah. So the hull modifier on this California class is 1.25. On all of these C-store ships here, like these are all of these except the Parliament are in the C-store. These all have, like 1.4 or higher. Look at all these 1.5s. So this is definitely a ship that's going to have less hull capacity. The shield modifier is slightly better to make up for that, but uh, who actually cares about shields? The turn rate is better. We see it's got a base turn rate of 11. So that beats out everything on this list. The impulse modifier is comparable. The inertia is also comparable to many options on this list. Basically, what I'm trying to get at with this is the ship is competing against a bunch of C-store ships that we have had for years, and we have legendary ships that are cruisers that have been available for a long time that already have better stats than this that are quite comparable. Like, if I'm looking at the California class, this legendary Excelsior is very close to the California class, and instead of having a secondary lieutenant commander miracle worker seat, you have a pilot seat. And that's even on the other engineering seat. So instead of needing to slot a bunch of useless engineering abilities, you can at least slot some pilot stuff. So this California class, stats wise, I just don't know why I would put money in to get it when there's ships like the legendary Excelsior, which is going to be a comparable cost. That's part of the 11th anniversary bundle. Uh, that have better stats, in my opinion. Let me catch up on chat here. You're definitely buying the ship for the Space Barbie side of things. Yeah, you're getting it for the look. Shield tanking Polaron beam overload tank when? Never. If you want to do build request, Mixed Stew really likes the beam overload questions. Augie really likes the beam overload Polaron tank questions. Yeah, Hoodwinked, I think even more inertia would have been good, for sure. It's already, it's leaning into having better movement, so they could have leaned into that just a little bit more to make up for the lower hull capacity. Turtle, yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people really excited about that. And yeah, the legendary Excelsior. So here's the thing: a lot of people hated on the 11th anniversary pack because it costs like $200. But how much do you think it's going to cost you to get the California class? And the thing with the 11th anniversary bundle is that's 4 ships that are unlocked account wide. You get a T6 coupon with it, right? So is it the best deal in the game? No, but it's better than a lot of the other deals we get. Never, Rob. Never. So I think that's enough with the stats. I think it's clear that the stats on the California class are somewhat underwhelming. And when compared to something like the legendary Excelsior, the legendary Sovereign, some of these other C store ships that you can get comparable ships stat wise much cheaper via the C store. And you get them unlocked account wide, as Starthon mentioned. So let me catch up on see if they're yeah, Hoodwinked, the 11th anniversary bundle. I was initially a little upset that I'd bought it, but over time I've been really glad to have gotten it. The Vorcha has been amazing. Uh, Rob, you can make a tank on it. It's just not going to be the best. It's just America Worker Cruiser. That's the limitation. So America Worker can work perfectly fine as a tank in like normal or advanced. Um, but in elite, that's where you start to run into some issues with non-command tanks. No, we're getting into the trait next, Darthon. So first we have the console, the terraforming emulsion. Um, this is another one of those things where we need to see the stats of it in a bit more detail before saying anything for sure. But basically, this sends out some clouds that do damage to nearby foes. I don't know how it fully works, but I'll break this down when I do a review of the ship next week and uh, give my thoughts on it once I've had an opportunity to actually use it. The console provides a passive boost to power transfer rate and shield regen skill, as well as a boost to flight speed while out of combat, which means that boost is completely useless. Um, I don't know how well this console is going to perform. Maybe it's another EPG console, but we have so many EPG consoles that there's just not room for all of them that they keep dumping into the game. Oh, they have a tooltip description here. So creates a series of clouds at your location, a total of 8, which last for 30 seconds each. Clouds affect all foes within a kilometer and one foe within 5 kilometer, which it will chase. Reduces flight speed and turn rate, deals physical damage, which means EPG is going to really be able to benefit from this type of console. And if a foe is defeated, it will create a new cloud, which lasts for 30 seconds. Okay. So, like I said, maybe it's an EPG console. We need to, see how it actually performs before knowing for sure. Yeah, Space Fart console. Yeah, that I didn't even notice that when I was looking through initially, so that's nice of them to have added the tooltip description. Yeah, we need more EPG consoles. You don't have room for the 50 you have to slot as is, so uh, making more of them is just it gives more options, but there's so many options for these EPG consoles. It's clear that they are largely biased towards making consoles that benefit that playstyle or benefit from that playstyle. The trait is the Lower Decks Initiative. Ensign rank bridge officer abilities provide a stacking buff that lasts for 2 minutes, max of 10 stacks. So you'll be able to build up 10 stacks fairly quickly. So after you get 10 stacks, this is plus 20% reduction for commander rank bridge officer abilities and 20% recharge reduction for captain abilities. Don't get this for the trait. Recharging only commander rank bridge officer abilities. Guess what? You have one of those on a ship. Your ship has one commander bridge officer ability, maybe two if you're using something like the Tooth or one of the like 3 other ships in the game that have dual commander seats on them. So that boost affects one single ability on your ship and is worthless because you have things like Boimler, Photonic Officer, or Oxtabat already doing that job. So for the cooldown reduction aspect, for it to just cool down a single bridge officer ability is completely useless because you're already going to have that covered on any type of build that you'd be working on if you have the budget level to acquire the ship. The other thing is a 20% recharge reduction for captain abilities. You know, we have Intelligence Agent Attaché, which already does a really good job at reducing captain ability cooldowns. And they put a cap on reducing captain ability cooldowns because somebody, did a build way back with, what was it, the temporal continuity, the temp ops continuity thing, that keeps you alive, the tier 4 ability. There was a way back in the day that I had found to exploit that so you could have multiple stacks of like go down fighting up at the same time. After they saw that, their response was to put a hard cap on how far you could reduce the cooldown of captain abilities, which means that things like this are less valuable now because you already have as much cooldown reduction as you really need. So for the trait, I have to give it a thumbs down because if you're at the point where you can afford to get this ship, you can afford the better things for cooldown reduction at a fraction of the cost. Yeah, exactly, Darthon. Did Packlids make the trait? You wonder, don't you? And then after the California class, they've added these at Bash lockbox stuff into Infinity finally. So the Delkina, which is a much, much better ship. The Delkina is probably the best Romulan lockbox ship we have in the game. Well, I would say for sure it is. It is a very good ship. So the Delkina finally being added to Infinity along with all of the items from its lockbox. It's nice to have this. I just, like I said in a previous video, I wish that they had done it, faster. It shouldn't have taken them like 15 months to get this added into the Infinity lockbox. Back in the day, they would have added in one of these lockboxes like 6 months after its initial release. Boimler effect is better than the Starship trait. Exactly. Boimler effect and Intelligence Agent Attaché cover it. Everything that trait does, you already have covered by other traits. I just don't understand what the value is in a commander only cooldown reduction, Yes, Ray. I want the crossfield refit in the Infinity lockbox. That would make me a lot of EC, and I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, we've got what is it? I think it's the Baron trait. Why can't I remember the name of it right now? The trade-off of the Baron helps with cooldown reduction, and we're using it on like all of our supports and all that. It's really good. Stu, I don't even want to hear that. It's terrible. Just lost my browser window. There it is. Yeah, Unified Engineering. Thank you. So the Unified Engineering is nice for cooldown reduction. We use it on all of our like supports and tanks on the really high-end runs. But it is really good. I wish we had more traits like that for sure. Yeah. There's no Triz around. Don't worry, Stu. You're safe for now. When Triz is around and he sees that McStud's anywhere around, he goes nuts. Okay. Let me see if I have any more dilithium here. I don't think I do. Need to get my red alert done quick. If anyone has any questions or anything about any of the topics I just talked about, feel free to ask. Make sure to pass the word around to everyone you know to log into the game. Claim the free 10 Phoenix packs that are in the C store. There. Claim them free 10 Phoenix packs. And it looks like I just got my... Well, that's good timing. I just got my monthly Zen stipend, so... Let me swap back to the character I was just on, and let's open just a couple more Phoenix packs. And I then click into the wrong character. You're going to see a lot of them California classes flying around, though, on Tuesday. It's not a good ship, like I said, but it's... People are going to go nuts for it. Okay, so I'm on the same character I opened on before. Like I said earlier, you need to make sure from now on, anytime you're opening any packs, you're doing it on one character, and just do every bit of opening on the same character. Being screwed over on these. It's the ultra is right now. Okay. So drop rate out of them 80 packs, or was it 80? How many did I get? 70. I got 70 packs. Yeah, could you imagine if I'd gotten another epic? If that had happened, I would have been sad because I would have wanted to have been standing on that Drozana console. Waldo, I don't know for sure, but it does actually seem like that they have improved the drop rates. As um, it seems like the higher tiers are actually dropping more than they used to. So out of all of the packs I have opened since start of the stream or whatever here, I've gotten 35 ultra rares, 61 very rares, and 124 of the rares. So it's like as I move up a tier, it's just a little bit better than half of what the lower tier gave me. Oh yes, I want to spend 100 of my upgrades on a single experimental ship upgrade token. That's exactly what I want to do. There's no slider on this? Terrible. I do like it is so much easier now to get these experimental ship upgrade tokens. It is significantly cheaper. So while the upgrades themselves, are now more expensive because you need more to do the same as before, you do have these T6X upgrades that are so much easier to obtain. Did I misread that? That ground rifle, is it a heal and not... Okay, so it's entirely for heals. I completely, to be honest, I read the title earlier and like skimmed over it. So it is actually a heal. So I wonder how that works if you put it on a bridge oster. Do they start healing the enemies, or do they target and heal just you? That's going to be the question with that. I have still low expectations. Um so it basically what this is saying is that heals from this rifle will be impacted by your crit chance and severity. So you know how the Miracle Worker specialization in space adds the ability for heals to crit? This rifle is doing that for any shots or heals from this weapon. It's interesting. It is different, but I still have low expectations on how useful that is actually going to be given the type of content in this game. They have a lot of neat ideas. It's just that I think a big issue is some of these things just don't mesh well with how this game is designed. Yeah, I expect that to be the same here because it's still, at the end of the day, the most effective way to play this game. And the reason everyone focuses on damage output is that at the end of the day, the easiest way to get through content is just to kill the enemies as fast as possible. Nothing has changed there. Dwayne, I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I'm gonna wrap things up here if anyone has any final questions or comments. I'll be streaming again on Saturday. Um, the account bank, I need to expand it now that they've given us room to put more stuff in it. Like, I think I can double the size that it currently is. I'm ready for the, I don't know. I'm probably going to get the California class over on Tribble. Let me, actually, while I'm here. Yeah, best defense is more offense, exactly. Let me see if they've updated Tribble at all so I can just, like, grab the ship, because sometimes they make it so over on Tribble you can get the ships early if they're added to Infinity. I doubt they have, but if they have, then I'll keep going on the stream. I have not messed with exceed rated limits yet, to be honest. I've been just I've slowed down just a little bit in the past week of playing just to prevent some burnout and to just help get ready for the new content. No, I can't choose that yet. So I have not messed with exceed rated limits yet. I think Jay over on the STO subreddit did though, so I'll go to STO builds. This is thread. If you want to see, like, they have some linked examples of some builds for each of the different, like, types, including ERL. Check out that link. There's a lot of good info in there. It breaks down how good exceed rated limits is compared to the other options. Just a lot of really good info in there. And they have some like some build ideas for it too. And no problem. Okay, that's gonna be it for today though. I can't get the new ships over on Tribble yet, so hopefully they do that before it actually releases, because I do want to try the ship out. And while I give the ships a hard time, you have to keep in mind I'm not focused on some of the more casual play. I'm focused more on the ISE record setting stuff. So uh, I'm very biased towards what works well there, but I imagine the California class will be a capable America worker cruiser if that's what you're into. It's just there are comparable C store options, including some like that legendary Excelsior, that are actually better ships. So that be it for today. Let me swap over to the right thing. Close out. Once again, I just want to say thank you to all channel members. The help is always appreciated. I actually just picked up a new monitor the other day, so probably gonna sell one of my monitors to help cover the cost of it. But you guys helped me uh, get that, so I don't have to look over as far for chat because that the way my setup was before was quite terrible with the chat. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Next stream will be on Saturday, and I think tomorrow I'm going to do. I haven't started on it yet, but I might do one of the first like top 5 type videos for recommendations for the event campaign. I'm going to break it down into each playstyle. Yeah, that is Matthew. It's just a matter of power creep. They have to make sure that the new stuff sells. And it depends on what type of content you're doing. Sell, thank you for the membership. Um, the Cygnus, Lexington, and Trailblazer. Terrible, Augie. Oh no, oh Triz. The Galaxy class, the legendary one, actually beats it out with a torp boat. Same goes for the Odyssey versus the Lexington. But that Trailblazer is definitely a better ship. Augie, your comments getting caught by the filter. Terrible. Okay, that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow or Saturday.